Thank you for tuning in to Truth Media TV. There has been a lot going on in Jamaica lately, including an increase in crime and violence, bank frauds, money heists, new banknotes, and our own central bank digital currency, JAMDEX. But all of these events are connected in some way to the Agenda 21 goals that were established by the United Nations in Brazil back in the 1990s. Our Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has been selected as the agent of change that will steer Jamaica through this fourth industrial revolution. Now, because Jamaica has demonstrated a reluctance and an unwillingness to become a victim of the psychological manipulation that they unleashed on the globe back in 2021, they are now taking strategic measures to ensure that our Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, will be able to secure another term. Why are they doing this? Because this will now allow him to carry out the New World Order agenda of the United Nations. So, how is he going to carry out this agenda? Well, first of all, he's going to be implementing a few strategies, right, that will help him to win the next general election, which he's probably going to call somewhere in 2024 or 2025, depending on when he believes that he have the best chance of winning. Now, these plans are not in any particular order. I'm just going to tell you them off the top of my head. So, there's a plan to increase the income tax threshold. Remember, back in 2017, the JLP raised the income tax threshold to 1.5 million Jamaican dollars. And, we as poor Jamaican people, we welcomed that move and we were very happy and joyful that, boy, we have more money in our pockets at the end of the day when we don't work and we get paid. Now, there is intention by the Jamaica Labour Party to raise the income tax threshold again, possibly by the third quarter of 2024, somewhere in the region of about $2.2 million. The reason for this increase, however, now have nothing to do with helping the average Jamaican. It is motivated by two primary factors. The first thing is that the government want to pacify we Jamaicans who have been very angry and upset over the big pay raise that the political elites have given themselves, upwards of 214%. I mean, a lot of people are still angry and upset about it, and the government clearly has no intention of rolling back the increase. So they are thinking, well, if we give Jamaicans an increase too, then come election, they're not going to be so angry and they will be more inclined to vote for us. So that is one of the reasons, right? And the next reason is really tying on to the first. This is their way of buying your vote, right? So, I do something for you. So when you go to the polls, you're going to have that in mind, and so you will vote for me. And make no mistake, they're going to give this increase close to the time when Andrew hopes to call the election. Because when you go to the polls, you must have in your mind the things that Andrew has done for you. So then we have the accelerating Jamaica towards this digital economy. This is nothing new because we have heard the Prime Minister come out in the public space and says that he is going to implement plans to push Jamaica towards this digital economy. But we know that them have a warm time with this central bank digital currency and artificial intelligence, largely because, one, Jamaica's economy is very cash intensive. Cash plays a big role in the economy, especially the informal economy, where you have like the soup vendors and the people selling in the market and the little man selling peanut on the street. All of these transactions are primarily done using cash. So it's very hard now for Andrew to implement this digital economy by 2027 or 2030, because that is the time that they plan to implement it by. So what he's going to do now is to launch a massive propaganda campaign using billboards in the town squares and also using social media influencers. And they're going to try to bamboozle you and con you into buying into this central bank digital currency and digital economy. So how are they going to do that? The government is going to give people free smartphone and free money. Remember when they launched the Jamdex platform, I think back in 2021, they were giving $2,500, but that wasn't doing anything. People weren't interested in signing up and only a few people did, so it kind of flopped. But this time around, man, they're going to be giving you a bigger sum of money, maybe somewhere in the region of 100,000 Jamaican dollars, right? Coupled with that, they're going to have influencers like the Mitchells and Kalila Reynolds to come and tell you, say, hey, sign up for this Jamdex thing because it only benefits you, and every country I go digital, so Jamaica must be in the digital race too. Then you're going to have the billboards in Halfway Tree and Sam Sharp Square and all the town squares, with advertisement, beautiful billboard like you're in a New York City, man. That is how it's going to look, and Jamaicans are going to be so enthralled by what they see. But it's going to be these messages encouraging you to get your smartphone, collect your smartphone and your $100,000 and sign on to the digital currency platform. Then the goal now is to get at least 400,000 to 600 people to sign up. And the bank now is going to implement new regulations that is going to make it very expensive or difficult for people to use cash when them do business. And because of these new banking regulations now, more people are going to be forced to sign up for this digital currency, because at the end of the day, you get a free phone and you get $100,000. So why not? Right? And then now, if that don't work, they're going to implement, they're going to manufacture a money shortage. So this is going to be done by the Bank of Jamaica. Right, so what they're going to do is to print less cash. And they're going to give us some flimsy excuse as to why they can't print more cash. And this is going to create now a shortage of cash in the society, because the Bank of Jamaica now printing of money to meet the demand that is out there for money. Right, but they're going to tell you, okay, not to worry, man. Remember, you have the free smartphone and the $100,000 in central bank digital coins. So go get your free phone and go and get your free money, and you will have no problem, because the banks are fully equipped to accept the digital cash. Right? And so they're going to also emphasize that, when you use Jamdex, there are no transaction fees. There's no fee associated with using the digital currency. So it is all the better for you to go get your free phone, get your free $100,000 and sign up for the digital platform, so you don't have to deal with the cash shortage that is currently going on in the economy. But that is not all. You're going to have now the ATMs island-wide are going to have problems dispensing the new banknotes. So they're going to give us some reason to say, well, they need to be retrofitted, or they were retrofitted, but there are some complications. And so you're going to have now a lot of ATMs across the island that are going to go out of service. And then this situation now is going to be made worse. So you have the cash shortage, the ATM them out of service. Then you're going to have now a series of orchestrated robberies at ATMs. So when the little poor people go to the ATM to draw them money, they're going to have gunmen out there, these hoodlums out there, holding them up at gunpoint and robbing them of their cash. And they're going to plaster these things now on the nightly news and say, boy, it is very dangerous now to use cash because robbers targeting people as they go to the ATM. And this is why now people need to get on board with the digitalization, because at the end of the day, you don't need to go to the ATM to draw no money, because the money is digital. Nobody can rob it from you. It is in your digital wallet and it is yours. So why not sign up? Why, there's a shortage of cash, that going on, ATMs out of service, plus you're getting robbed one them that, not out of service. So these are the strategies that they're going to use now to force us to buy into this digital revolution. Then the next thing is that the Prime Minister, well, the government of Jamaica, but primarily, the Prime Minister, is going to be spearheading these bilateral talks with the World Bank and the United Nations, looking into perhaps loan facilities and debt refinancing for Jamaica. So what they're going to use now is the possibility of the World Bank providing financial assistance to small farmers or perhaps providing grants to them, right? And they're going to use this now as a major talking point in their political campaign. Because remember, we had Banga, the president of the World Bank, was in Jamaica, I think, back in June. And he went and he was speaking to some small farmers and so on and so forth. So Andrew is going to leverage that now in the political campaign to secure votes. Then what they're going to do now is to have conversations with the United States and with Canada about either eliminating or easing the need for Jamaicans to get a visa. Remember, we had in the news a few weeks back where they were saying that, Canada has a list of Caribbean countries that can come to Canada visa-free, and Jamaica wasn't on it. This was not by happenstance why they posted, because that information is not relevant to us since we weren't on the list anyway. But we're going to have now the government, the JLP government, stepping in and say, we have had talks with the Canadian government, and we have had talks with the US government, and now Jamaicans will have a less difficult time accessing Canadian and US visas. Remember, all of this now, all of these measures that they're implementing is so that when they're on the election campaign, they can say, we are the first government in history to have Jamaicans get free visa to Canada. Right, because Canada don't have no people over there, so we will get the free visa to Canada, or no visa requirement to Canada. The US now once you go, unless there are extenuating circumstances, you will get the visa. You'll pay for it nonetheless, but when you go, it's almost a surety that you'll get the visa. Because remember, there's this replacement migration going on in the United States of America now. Anyway, then the next thing now, you're going to have the PSOJ. Now, what's going to go on with the PSOJ? Now, the government is going to put pressure on the private sector to increase pay and benefits for workers. Because remember, we have been languishing for the past 40 years with, meager wages and harsh working conditions. So the government is going to come in now and say, no, we don't have to do right by the Jamaican people and pay them more and ensure that the compensation benefits are acceptable. No, they're going to do this. Perhaps they're going to have some meetings with the key stakeholders in the private sector organization, and then know how the government are going to kind of pacify the PSOJ is either where they're going to probably implement some new employment laws to say, hey, you got to pay people more, better working conditions, yada. But they're going to leave loopholes in the law so that the people in the PSOJ can still perhaps work around it. So even though they met the law and say, hey, look what I did for you, we still not get the benefit. Or, right, the government is going to promise them some future benefits. So don't worry yourself, man. You see, when we win, we're going to roll back all of this. We just do this for win. Right? So either that is going to happen. And all of these things is to ensure that Andrew win in the next general election. But that is not the end of it. You're going to have a lot of campaign promises and manipulation going on. Because remember, Andrew has the backing of the World Economic Forum, the World Bank, and the United Nations. So we are going to see things happening where these promises do not seem unrealistic. So he's going to emphasize all the good things that has happened to Jamaica under the JLP's leadership, while downplaying the fact that Jamaicans have been suffering since 2020, more so than they have in the past. Right? So they're going to use the foreign press and they're going to use celebrities to influence public opinion, promising a better future for Jamaicans. And we know that they've already started to do this because remember we had Kerry Washington, that big superstar from the TV show Scandal. She was in Jamaica the other day and she went and she visited the Prime Minister. And then we had Burna Boy before that came out here and do this big concert. All these things were done to increase the popularity of Andrew Holness. Right? And remember, we see all these of high-ranking officials from overseas, the president of the World Bank, the director general of the World Health Organization, some foreign secretary from the UK, the vice president from the United States of America, and most of these people were coming to Jamaica for the first time ever. And the question is why? All of a sudden, this interest in Jamaica. But they're not interested in Jamaica like that. These trips are part of a larger strategy to improve Andrew Holness's image in the public eye so that he can be voted in as the next Prime Minister of Jamaica so that he can continue to carry out the Agenda 2030 plan. So, having said all that, it is absolutely necessary that the JLP do not win the next election. They're going to pull out every dirty trick that they have in the book. The propaganda going to turn up. The psychological manipulation go turn up. But if you value your life, if you value your freedom, and if you want a better future for your children and your grandchildren, then no matter what happens, come the next general election, the JLP cannot be allowed to take power again. The hand has been writing on the wall for some time now, Jamaica. And as the good book says, he that has an ear to hear, let him hear. Andrew is the agent that has been employed by the demons of the World Economic Forum and the international elite to plunge Jamaica into this tyranny of digitalization and eugenics. So I am imploring all Jamaicans to rise up, open your eyes and your ears to what is happening and defend Jamaica against these demons. That's it for this video. If you like the video, please leave a comment, like the video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.